Hi, welcome to the first day of tutorials for Project Mars by Absidy LLC. In this short video series, we're going to explore a number of strategies for Project Mars and explain how it works and how to use it. Today, we're going to focus on how to use the settings, how to set alerts, and one strategy for Project Mars. Project Mars is a very aggressive and yet highly precise trend-following system that will get you in the trend very early and get you out just around the end. So on the screen, we have Project Mars on the one-day charts for oil. You can see that we have two sets of lines. The first set of lines is comprised of a light blue line and a dark blue line. These lines work together to give us crossover signals that we'll explore in greater depth in this video series. Likewise, the other set of lines we have is comprised of a light red line and a dark red line. These lines also work together to give us crossover signals that are slightly different from the blue lines. We'll explore today how to use both of these crossover informations separate and together. Before we start learning strategies, we should learn how to use it. Here we have the settings menu. The first setting that you can choose is to set the sensitivity. This parameter controls how quickly the blue lines react together. It does not affect the red lines at all. When you set this number higher, the blue lines have more sensitive reactions. When you set this number lower, the blue lines have less sensitive reactions. Next we have the line lengths for the fast and the slow lines. In this sense, you can think of line lengths like the length of a moving average window. The longer it is, the more data it considers and appears to be less responsive in the data compared to a smaller number which takes in much less information and seems to respond much quicker. You can see that the fast line lengths has a light blue and a light red arrow pointing at it. The light lines are considered the fast lines, while the slow line lengths are pointed to by a dark blue and a dark red arrow. These are the slow lines. We have a security code. You can enter the code that you've received here. If you have trouble doing this, please refer to the tutorial that shows you how to install indicators. Lastly, we have two choices to set here. We can hide the lines, which are the lines themselves that we're looking at on the screen, or we can check to hide the signals, which are little helpful arrows that appear when we have a crossover. We can hide either one of these. Then click OK and we're ready to go. So if we go back to the one-day oil chart that we were just looking at before the settings, we can briefly check the crossovers here to see what kind of crossovers happened. On the screen, we have the light blue line crossing under the dark blue line just after October. When the fast line goes under the slow line, this is a good signal to enter a short position. You can see that the light blue line stayed under the dark blue line until the beginning of January of 2019. That is a good entry signal for a long position, as well as a good exit signal for our short position. I know a lot of cryptocurrency traders that will be highly interested in this technical indicator. And just to show how valuable of information it gives, I'd like to show you how well the blue line crossovers performed on the 4-hour charts of the Bitcoin bull rally at the end of 2017. On the chart, we're looking at data from mid-October to mid-November. Highlighted in the light blue circles is a long signal from the blue lines, and highlighted in the dark circle is a short signal from the blue lines. Starting from the end of October, we got a long signal that took us to the first week of November. There we got caught in a range before taking a short signal that took us to the middle of November. And from there we went long. On the screen now we have the long signal that we just received that took us from the second week of November to the end of November. Here we got stuck in a little range after the long signal and then got another long signal to continue upwards. This long signal again took us to the first week of December, where Bitcoin peaked around 17,000. Should we have taken the crossover signal here, we would have gotten out of Bitcoin around 17,000 and then re-entered around 16,000 when we had another long signal crossover when the light blue line went over the dark blue line. Lastly, this would have taken us to the very top of the Bitcoin charts, where we would have made our final exit around 19,000. And everything that we've looked at so far is just the default settings of Project Mars on the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. Should you look for longer or shorter trading opportunities and set it more sensitively or less sensitively, you could expand your opportunities with the profitability on the next cryptocurrency bull run. Next, I know we have a lot of interest from day stock traders that are looking for a reliable trend following system. Here is the Nifty 50 index on the 1-minute charts, and I'd like to show you how well the Project Mars performed on the Nifty 50 index on one trading day, August 13th of 2019. Here, we're not going to just look at the blue lines as we've been looking at before, but now we're also going to look at how they work in conjunction with the red lines, and how we can use signals from both of these together to further optimize our trading style while lowering our risk. To start this example, we're going to break the trading day into the first half and to the later half. The first half is a ranging market, while the second half is a trending market. This is good to illustrate both the strengths and weaknesses of Project Mars in both of these settings. So let's first look at the ranging half. The trading style that we were looking at before was simply trading when the light blue line crossed over or under the dark blue line. Now we're also going to involve the light red and dark red lines. To do this, we're only going to enter a trade when the light blue line is on top of the dark blue line and the light red line is on top of the dark red line. That's to say both the blue lines and the red lines are both confirming a bullish bias in the market. When the light blue line is under the dark blue line and the light red line is under the dark red line, both of those will be in agreement, and that will show us a confirmation of a bearish bias in the market. So, we're only going to enter a trade when it's confirmed either way, but if these are giving mixed signals, we are not going to enter a position. Highlighted in the blue boxes are areas where there's been a blue line crossover. Highlighted in the red boxes is areas where there have been red line crossovers. To highlight the movements that we're going to be looking at, there's a series of red arrows showing whether we're in a bullish trade for light red or a bearish trade for dark red. The first confirmation of a bullish signal when both the light lines were on top of both the dark lines was given just after 6:30. This took us to the top of this range, where we exited the trade when the blue lines crossed over in the first blue box. Next, when the light red line went under the dark red line, the light blue line was already under the dark blue line. Both of these now confirm that we have a bearish bias in the market and we're able to enter a short position here. This took us to the next blue box where we exited the trade. Then from 8:30 to 9, we got caught in a range-bound situation that we quickly exited just after 9 without much loss. The end of that range, we got a successful short signal just after 9. This took us into the trending half of the day, just after 9. You can see the ranging market that we just exited on the left in the rectangular red box. That was our first short signal. Then we had another short signal given just after 9:30 by the red lines. Every trade that we took that day after that time was when the blue lines confirmed a bearish signal in the market. That's to say, whenever the light blue line went under the dark blue line and told us to short the market. Highlighted in all the blue boxes thereafter are good opportunities that were given by Project Mars to short the market. Using this double filtering system, you can see that we had very low drawdown with quite a few good opportunities to take profit in between. This setup here is also perfect for day traders who need a more aggressive trading style that also need lower risk. In our last example today, we want to look at the differences of how the blue lines operate versus how the red lines operate. And so to do this, we're going to look at the daily chart of the pound-yen pair for our fellow forex swing traders. Highlighted in the blue boxes are areas where we had blue line crossovers, and highlighted in the red boxes are areas where we had red line crossovers. Let's explore the blue crossovers first. You can see that we got our first long signal at the beginning of 2019 when the light blue line went over the dark blue line. Then, while the market was ranging from March until May, we only got one short signal that was just before April. From there, it was a fully downward market. The blue lines work together to give us early signals of when possible trends are emerging. However, if you notice, they do not get stuck in ranges. They only give signals when they're sure that a trend is emerging, and therefore we can trust the crossovers when they happen. We no longer have to guess which crossover is most important or which one is not important. We can trust that these early signals are probably spot on. The red lines, on the other hand, wait for the trend to emerge. They typically show up a little later, but they're on time when their signal appears, and they're highly dependable because they're already confirming the trend that is now taking place. And now you may be thinking, that's great. All I need to know is when the crossovers happen. And here at Absidy LLC, we foresee the needs of our customers and clients. So we created a system by which you can get alerts for when crossovers happen. To do this, go to your alert menu in TradingView, click on Add Alert, and then click on Project Mars. And then for the condition, select Project Mars. Right now I want to know when we should go long on the pound-yen pair again. We need to know when the light blue line crosses over the dark blue line. To do this, we're going to select the Project Mars indicator, the fast blue line, and the Project Mars dark blue line having a crossover. What this does is this sets up the alert condition. When the light blue line crosses over the dark blue line, I'll get an alert. Then select how you'd like to be notified, whether it's on an app, a pop-up, an email, or a text message, and write a message to yourself so that you'll know what to do right when you get the alert. Then click Create and you set it. When you click Create, you may get a warning that this indicator may repaint. However, you're only getting this warning due to the security function of the code. The security function that we built into the code is what is able to lock the code when you don't have the security code. When you do have the security code, then you see how the indicator's been performing, and that's how this indicator is able to repaint. If you have a working security code, it works. If you don't have a working security code, it doesn't work. Just to be clear, at Absidy LLC, we've extensively tested all of our indicators to confirm that none of them are capable of repainting. Project Mars in particular works in real time without any lag, so you can trust the signals that it gives you, knowing that it's lag-free, non-repainting, and protected against whipsaws. This concludes the first day tutorials for Project Mars. Thanks for watching the tutorial today, and stay tuned for the next tutorial tomorrow about more strategies that you can use to become even more profitable and lower your risk in the markets. Thanks for watching.